Casemiro, Ugarte, take one. Hello, welcome back to Real Reds Talk, the heart and soul of authentic football fan culture. And today we have an absolute banger of a show. We're going to do a comparison between current Manchester United player Casemiro and the Man United target Manuel Ugarte from the 23-24 season. And what this is going to include is stats from their respective leagues from last season, an explanation why both players could potentially work together. Does Casemiro's current form alleviate the pressure to pay PSG's demands? And why have United specifically chosen Manuel Ugarte as their main target? We're going to dive into that very, very shortly. But before we do that, if you could, please just smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it. So to kick us off, I've got a comparison between Casemiro and Ugarte for the 23-24 season. We're going to look at things like passing and possession, defensive contributions, what type of style they are, how they would complement different players, everything you need basically in a quick rundown. So let's discuss passing and possession. Casemiro attempts more forward passes, 23.9 per 90 minutes, and contributes to breaking lines, but his lower pass accuracy, 82.65%, shows riskier play. Ugarte is more efficient, however. He has a higher pass accuracy, 91.47%, which reflects safer, more controlled distribution, which is ideal for maintaining possession, but it is less progressive. In terms of defensive contributions, most people will know what's about to come, but Casemiro's aerial physicality stands out. His 64.42% success in aerial duels obviously highlights his dominance in the air, especially important in set-piece situations, which we even saw on Friday against Fulham. A couple of opportunities, 3 or 4 at least, where the ball's played into the box from a free kick or a corner, and he wins the header, and he even did it in the final for us in the Carabao Cup. So very, very strong in the air. With Ugarte, it's his ground game. He excels in ground duels, winning 52.9%, making him a tenacious ball winner in tight spaces. Now we have something where both players are actually on the same page. Discipline. I think it's fair to say they're pretty hot-headed. If you look at Casemiro's fouls, he commits fewer fouls, 1.4 per 90, which actually shocked me, showing a little bit more controlled aggression than the opposite player, which is obviously crucial for avoiding dangerous free kicks. But I still think it surprised me that it's lower because Casemiro's quite aggressive and quite risky, and it's a concern that we've had amongst this fan base for a while anyway. Ugarte's higher foul rate, so his is 2.2 per 90, obviously suggests a much more aggressive approach, which can be obviously a strength in disrupting play and a weakness if that then leads to bookings against a tough team or you've got a pivotal moment. That's a risk in itself. So both similar in that sense. And some additional stats I'd like to offer as a bit more context to both players. You know, we talk about work rate. Ugarte's 8.5 ball recoveries per 90 minutes obviously shows he's got a high work rate, crucial for pressing systems. He will fit right in with Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes. Then we have experience versus potential to consider. So Casemiro's experience, obviously in top competitions, is pivotal for certain moments. People might not see that, but in the dressing room, on the pitch, he'll be a leader. He'll talk to players in front of him. Then you have Ugarte, whose youth and energy makes him a potential long-term asset for us, looking more towards the future. So I think overall, when you actually look back at the stats, Ugarte shows promise in defensive consistency and ball recovery, whereas Casemiro remains influential in progressive play and aerial duels. So that's just a nice little starter. We're going to dive deeper. The question I thought I would discuss, because I think it's an interesting topic / debate, is could both players play together? Now, I think Ugarte and Casemiro could form a double pivot in a 4-2-3-1 formation, providing a solid defensive base. Casemiro could play a little bit more of an advanced role, distributing the ball forward, while Ugarte focuses on purely ball recovery and shielding the defence. If we take a look at their complementary skills, with Ugarte, superior tackling, interceptions would allow and break Casemiro free a little bit and not have to worry as much about that risk about diving in. He could press a bit more efficiently. Obviously, aerial duels is always the thing he's going to have anyway, so when you're closer to the box, that's even more of a threat. And I think just with his vision and line-breaking passes, I think he could do a role as an 8. Now, the potential issues we could have on the flip side of things, I think playing both could at times stifle creativity and forward thrust, especially against teams that sit deep. Now, this setup usually would require an additional playmaker. Maybe Bruno Fernandes can take that role as he has done for a long time at United. But when he becomes isolated in certain situations, that's when you have a conversation. So it is a big burden on Bruno. When teams target him and man mark him, the onus then is on Casemiro. So he's able to play like line-breaking passes, and he does have that vision, but in a different way to Bruno Fernandes. It's hard to describe. I think another thing as well is when you talk about habits and natural positioning, Casemiro's so used to that defensive role, and Ugarte is as well. I know they're both club players and 8, but in the back of their minds, they're always naturally going backwards rather than forwards, and that's another thing to think about. I think this combination could be effective in games where defensive solidity is prioritised, but in matches where United needs more creativity and attacking options, a team playing a low block, I think the pairing might be a little bit too conservative, but I can definitely see it in a big game. You're playing Real Madrid in the Champions League, or I don't know, a big team in Europa League, if there are any big teams. That midfield, if you really want to show things up, Casemiro, Ugarte and Bruno is a triangle I'd be willing to try. Not like I'm outcasting Kobe Mainu, but I'm just saying certain profiles suit certain games. Styles make fights, as they say. So let's discuss Casemiro's current form, because over the pre-season and from last season, I think the majority of people had wrote him off, including myself. I was like, there's no way he's having a renaissance. There's no way he's coming back. But he does look a little bit leaner. I thought in the Community Shield versus Man City, he had a bit of a mixed performance. People were bigging it up more than what it actually was. Pretty solid defensively. Was making a couple of crucial interceptions and winning aerial duels. However, he struggled with the ball at times and distribution under City's press because it is so intense. Against Fulham, I actually thought he showed improvement, particularly in breaking up play, providing defensive cover. He displayed much more composure on the ball, contributing to United's control in midfield when we was retaining the ball. However, he still seems like just a bit step off the peak that we were used to in the first season from Casemiro. So maybe that will naturally come with game time, but I don't think you can, put all your eggs in one basket with him. So whilst he remains a key asset for United, I still think there are some things there that suggest he's not at the top of his form, particularly, maintaining tempo and distribution under pressure. That's one key thing I think he's dropping off slightly. And so signing a defensive midfielder is still absolutely crucial to us progressing in the season. So why is Manuel Ugarte the one, and why could he be a transformative signing for us? When we talk about midfield stability, Ugarte's high tackle interception rates would solidify that problem straight away, reducing gaps that the opponents try to exploit, which we've seen from last season, between the lines, in behind, that we've struggled with. Ugarte would clean that mess up. Now, in terms of ball recovery, his ability to recover the ball frequently, 8.5 per 90, would enhance United's pressing game, leading to quicker transitions from defence to attack. If you pause for a minute, you can hear Ten Hag absolutely purring. At the age of 23, Ugarte brings youthful energy. He helps to cover more ground, which is vital in a fast-paced, physical Premier League. Not to mention his improved passing accuracy as well, which stands at 91.47%. Obviously going to aid in retaining possession, which is a current struggle for United under pressure at the minute. And his flexibility allows him to function both more as a traditional ball winner and more of a conservative holding midfielder, depending on tactical needs. We're going to have fluid systems this year. There's no two ways about it. And those kind of attributes suggest to me this signing could address several weaknesses we currently have in the team in United's setup, particularly in defensive resilience and consistency. So let me know your thoughts on Manuel Ugarte as a player. What do you make of Casemiro's returning form? Do you think Ugarte could fit in our system? Do you think he would improve it? And can you see why Ten Hag and Ashworth are so keen to bring him in? If we do sign Manuel Ugarte, maybe we already have by the time this video comes out. It's usually what happens, sod's law. What nickname would you give him? And have you seen much of him yourself at PSG or Uruguay? Do let us know in the comments. Please leave a like on the video and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Up the fucking Reds. United! United! United!